Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to the Virgo Channel. I just realized I had my green screen up with no tapestry on it. I said, gotta take it down. And you know what? I was planning on coming on 15 minutes before, and then I wound up getting the hiccups. I said, oh my God, the dog was barking. I said, there's an energy that's almost like just preventing me from going on today. I don't know what it is, but I made it. So, for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading, so we do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting that person, what is the whole spiritual significance to the situation. What's the point? And how can you break a karmic cord when you're finished with it, really? I mean, a lot of times we feel like, I just want this connection to be over when it's a karmic one, past life karmic mate. So all those questions will be answered. But as I said, before I came on, I felt like there was like a vortex that was trying to stop me from coming on. I said the hiccups, the dog, the this, the that, you know, just goes to show you when you really want to make something happen, you can make it happen. That meaning that it might not happen in the time that you want it to happen in, but it always can happen. Just have to keep your focus on what it is. So maybe you're dealing with somebody that I feel like is going through obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and they intuitively are saying, well, I feel like I'll be able to like talk to you, Virgo, when things settle down in my life. Because again, everything happens for a reason, right? We don't know why his spirit tells us to start the reading off the way that, or why certain things unfold the way that they do. But everything is always happening in alignment with what the universe wants, even when we're like, what the hell? Like, all right, the word of the video is fantasizing. Well, I feel like there is a deep, passionate connection. There is, always is, but the problem is soulmate, twin flame feel very much alike. Past life soulmate, that is. All soulmates teach just those past life karmic mates. It's like you haven't learned in many lifetimes, so the karmic consequences are always really severe, and there's always a lot of passion. See, but when there's a spiritual connection, there always is passion. It's almost like God's way of making you, stay connected to a person that logically it doesn't make sense that it would be connected to this person. However, the attraction, the chemistry, the feeling is there. So I feel like, again, you're in connection with someone that fantasizes a lot about you. Nostalgia. So again, that might be, and because I don't really even feel like for some of you guys didn't even really have a long relationship, but the relationship was real. The connection was real. And so again, it didn't take long. I feel like you trigger each other. Yes. And so when you're in that connection, like you just get so mad. However, the time apart, you really realize that I'm still connected to that person. And I feel like you're apart. So it's forcing this person to look at all the times, like all the times that they did spend with you, the type of person that you are, the good times, and that just the fact that it was real, which is a big deal today because most people that you date are not real. So you're different. You're different in the fact that you impacted this person. Not many people impact this person because I don't really feel like they're emotionally intelligent. That's what I'm feeling. However, you know, so again, people that are not emotionally intelligent don't like to be transparent. They don't like to be open. So if they actually like you, if you actually made an impression, on this person. It's a big deal. I feel like there was still an emotional connection between you and your ex that triggered me. So again, I feel like that's the one thing. You're like, you met this person before they were fully out of a connection, or that maybe it was over, but that I feel like it was over, but there were no boundaries. You know, when a relationship just ends, but there's kids involved, or there's a dog involved, or there's a joint ownership of something, that it's over, but then like it's not, you feel like it's not over because the person is like jumping to the person's every command because they're like afraid of that person, or they just feel like, well, now that it's over, I know that it was a real asshole, so let me like overcompensate so I'm not such a bad person. You know, that there's always like this process when a relationship ends, that it's like you have to grieve. And I feel like this person met you like before like the relationship actually ended, and then they rushed to be in that connection with you, or wanted to be in that connection with you. But that person, that karmic person, you felt like, you're not treating me the way that I deserve to be treated. It's like, and partially that was because the karmic was there, and I feel like the karmic was pressing buttons, because it's like, well, you know, clearly I don't want them to move forward, and you're going to live happily ever after, excluded. So you felt like, again, that you didn't exist. And I feel like it's not like you didn't exist, but if your emotions aren't being taken into consideration, if they're not putting you first, and they're in a relationship with you, they're again not taking you into consideration, you would feel excluded. You would feel like, and but understand that's because things have not were not fully like talked about. You know, people go through a divorce, it's like you have to leave. You have to still leave like adequately. If you leave like so overly emotionally because you're so angry, well, then you're going to feel guilty later. If you don't leave properly, the right way, it never gets closed. So I feel like this person rushed it. They didn't fully close it. And closing just is, I'm leaving, I'm moving out now, whatever it is. It's like this person did things on the sneak. And so again, that means that they're going to be very easily buttons pushed, manipulated, because everyone has a conscious. It's like this person's angry. They feel like, I don't care about that person. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, you don't. But then there's consequences. And again, if there's children and if there's other things. So, of course, this person is not 100%, wasn't ready to give you that. And you just felt like it was like abuse, like, because you're like, because this karmic or this person that it's over with, you refuse to set boundaries, or it's taking forever for you to set boundaries, or you don't see that this person's so manipulative that really it's winding up being abusive to me, because you know that I'm sitting here and I'm waiting for you. You know that we have a connection, but what you're like, I need to make sure that this person's okay. You know, there's a sense that you and that person's never gonna be okay, because they're not happy that you're leaving. It's like you're happy you're leaving. You feel guilty of how you treated that person when you were in the connection. You met me when you were in that connection. You told me you were getting out. You're out of that connection, but are you fully out of that connection? So it's again, it's abuse, because it's like you don't know really know what you want. That's what either you're not conscious of that, which I feel like they weren't conscious of it. It's like they weren't paying attention to you, and you got tired of you like feeling bad about it. Like, I'm always the bad guy. Like, it's like I'm telling you to like think about me, and you're like, well, think about this person, because now I'm going to be here with you. It's like you didn't know whether it was avoidant, you didn't know whether or not, but you just were like, I'm just tired of being the bad guy. Like, you're not taking responsibility, almost like you're afraid to hurt this person's feelings. But what you see is you're not paying attention to me, what I am saying, and you want to be in a connection with me, but we're still like, you're still And that's because that person trained them. This person hasn't given you the time for you to train. And that's really what it is. And when I say train, it means we teach people the way we want to be treated. So the thing is, this person didn't really understand. So it began to get very frustrating because you're like, I like you're not as open to the connection as you should be. For me to like, I shouldn't even have to explain it. But part of that, I believe, was because this person wasn't emotionally intelligent. And so there was a lot of like, instead of them understanding what you wanted or understanding how they were acting, they would project. And again, you were like, I'm not really getting anywhere with you. However, like I said, this person is in separation and they're like fantasizing about you. So again, what doesn't even matter that it got this way. I don't even think this person remembers why they were angry anymore. And that's what happens after a while. Now let's go deeper. Where this journey is teaching us one of the most important spiritual lessons, patience. So I'm feeling like, again, this person, like everything wasn't wrapped up with this person. It wasn't. And they know that you're there. There's a spiritual connection, ESP, through the heart and mind. There is this unconditional love. They don't trust that person. And so they're looking at you as if you're through your highest energy. And this is, again, the spirit is telling me, like, this is like a twin flame connection, but they're seeing you as if you are in your highest energy. Like, you're going to be compassionate, you're going to be understanding to my situation, you're going to be like this, you're going to be like that. But meanwhile, at home, they're fantasizing about you. Like, if they're not with anybody else, they're with their like right hand or their left hand, I mean, but it's like they're fantasizing about you. It's like, so they're passionate about you. It's, again, they're not passionate about that person. There just is a sense of, I need to make sure that things are done properly before I don't want to leave with it wrong, because I don't want to have to come back here. And so again, that karmic was playing a lot of games for a long time, but I feel like now that you're not there, this person again is seeing it more and more and more. Like, again, 1111, they're awakening to it. Okay, so there's a sense of like they feel like they're going to be out of this soon. They still struggle with codependency, and they do have old coping mechanisms. And part of that is, again, when you've been connected to a karmic, and you grew up in an environment where you were taught to be responsible for other people's happiness, or that you have to take care of someone else and before your own needs, because that's what this person's doing. That's the coping mechanism. The codependency is, I have to be the fixer. I have to, and this karmic, it's not like they weren't together. They were together. They know every single button to push. So again, they just act like the damsel in distress, or they blow this person's ego up for a while, but it's like this person's becoming wise to it. But they still feel bad. Like, I still struggle. I don't know how to break it off. I don't know how to like say, because this person is like too concerned about that person, not realizing that they're not paying attention to you, because again, they're paying attention to you as if you're like this. They put you on a pedestal. Like, so they see you as being compassionate. You're going to understand. We have this connection. There's unconditional love here. You understand that you would want me to do the right thing. And it's not that you wouldn't, but it's the way that it's being done, I feel like. The universe brought us together for a reason. And I'm discovering what these reasons are. That's where this person's head is at. They're like, you're in my life possibly to help me get fully away from this karmic, because I wasn't able to do so before. Is, again, knowing that you're kind of like there. It was like I was on my way out anyway. That's what I want to do for myself, but it makes it easier. And you're like, it's easier because it doesn't look like it's easier from my seat. This person moves turtle slow. They're codependent. They rely on what other people, you know, whether everyone else is okay. They were the fixer, but they understand that they feel you pulling away and it's triggering them their fears, and so they're moving a little bit faster because they're feeling it. They know, like I said, the ESP connection through the heart and the mind. you know there, it's not like there isn't love there, but what it is like this person is like being like toyed around with. It's like, and they're also like afraid to like leave. Well, and like afraid to leave without hurting the other person, or just afraid to go into the unknown. I'm trying to understand how my thoughts create my reality. I know I need to stay positive. Are you? Which means that I have a hard time staying positive because I'm insecure. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know whether is it the relationship going to turn out exactly like this one. That's again because this one didn't work out good. It's like after a few months, there was no passion, there was no anything. I had to give up my life. This person is very controlling because I don't really want to be there. I would like prefer to be a little bit more free spirited. And this person, I feel like had a noose around my neck. Are you going to do the same thing? Like, I mean, there's this person, because again, that's codependency. You see, um, that when a person like isn't themselves, like it's like they were brought up in an environment where they weren't allowed to be themselves. They were taught to be um the fixer, the healer, which meant love is conditional, meaning if like I'm not happy, you're not going to be happy. Like, and so it's almost like this is what they wound up with, and they're like, this person doesn't let me be me. But that's because there's no real them, because they're insecure. They're where what the parts of them that need healing are the parts that are insecure, the parts that they don't know. So again, they're not good with themselves. They're not going to be good with you, and that's what they know. That's why again there's a sense of this inner child healing. My ego is fragile to criticism and rejection, and I've created walls to protect myself. Yeah, those walls need to come down. They wouldn't even be considering or even looking at these walls if the connection wasn't strong. That doesn't mean they want to let those walls come down, though. If that's a trained behavior, if you grew up in an environment and then you live with somebody that you were like, I didn't really love that person after a while, and they treated me more like a kid, telling me what to do. I lost my freedom. I lost, you know, and I had to give this person in order to make them happy, because again, the person felt that they didn't really love them either. So they're like, do this for me, do that for me, do this, do that. And that's kind of like, oh, this person loves me through the act, when really it's like, no, this person really is an emotional person. They were shut down, and they shut down because they were not in love. And they're like, but all they know is that the relationship didn't work. And how do they know the relationship's going to work with you? Because their relationship didn't start off the way that it started off. I can't validate our love in the 3D until I understand our spiritual love in the 5D. It makes no sense to them. It's again, they've never had this to them. It's weird. It's like a give me time to explore this aspect so I can be a strong spiritual partner for you. It's again, they just know that something's off with them. And it's like, and then they know that because I don't believe that it was just that one relationship. I believe that it's been numerous relationships. It's just that last relationship really was a past life karmic mate that, like I said, there's a lot of consequences when you don't learn. And you knew that person from a past life. It's not a twin flame, though. Twin flame means that this person's like, I'm ready to like step into that. This person's like, again, their ego is still up there, but they again know that there's still this unconditional love. We have past life connection memories, and they surface consciously or unconsciously at the same time. So understand that this person, like it's they're a very logical and analytical person. I feel like this is a very spiritual connection. it's making them think completely different. This person was very logical, analytical, not spiritual at all. So it's again, they don't understand it. And there's someone that's very smart. I feel like there's someone that's very smart, someone that's very practical, someone that's very logical, analytical, could be a good lawyer, could be someone that's a good business person, you know, um, and it just tend to go with fact. And here's the spiritual connection, and but it's pain, because understand, in order for this person to be with you, they have to heal, and their ego is fragile. They've created walls, and part of that is that a person has to surrender their ego when there's unconditional love, and that's really what a twin flame connection is. But meanwhile, this person has been connected to somebody that they had to live with walls around their heart, because again, they were getting berated every day. Imagine living with somebody, and because the money is okay, like again, you live a comfortable life with, but there's no love, there's no passion at all. Like you don't, if anything, like if the person is like, becomes very unattractive to you. So what happens is the one person wants intimacy, and they're reliving their karmic theme of not having that intimacy, so they're more fearful of it, where this person tends to be avoidant, and it's like I had to stay there, but I chose not to stay there because I'm fantasizing about you. So I'm there, but I'm not there, if that makes sense. It's again because this person's like, I don't know how to deal with it. If you know how to deal with it, you got to walk through the fire. This person's scared to walk through the fire because that person they know is going to be angry. It's going to be again, they've already someone that's not a happy camper because they haven't gotten love in a long time. So they're barking at orders, which is what ruined the whole intimacy thing to begin with. So, but your person was like, I feel obligated, I feel obligated, I feel obligated. And then here you come along. So imagine. I find this person is like, it's either I have to walk through the fire, but it's like I got to deal with this person, and it's like, and the consequence if I don't, and it's like it's stirring up a lot of like uncomfortable feelings and emotions, because if you think that this is the first time the spirit has put this person into a situation where they said, stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself, otherwise you're going to lose whatever this is. Stand up for yourself. Oh, they would be like again, and they don't. So they wind up being bullied, or they wind up being taken, and they don't really want you to see that side of them because that's embarrassing. So that's the walls. You're not going to let you in because I'm embarrassed that those are shadows that person has. But they have to go through this situation. It's uncomfortable, but when they look into your eyes, they can see the universe. I don't know if that's true. I do feel that when this person stands next to you, you do activate them, meaning like their heart opens up, they get the butterflies in the stomach, they can feel again. This person lives disassociated from themselves, meaning like, I'm numb. I'm numb. I'm there, but I'm not there. It's like I'm numb. It's like to this person. I don't care one way or the other. I'm indifferent. It's like, but with you, they have feelings. So it's emotion. I answer all your questions after. Thank you, Melanie. I daydream about you. Sometimes it's sexual, other times it's visual. Our future together. Okay, this whole thing is about this person having fantasizing. Like it's like they're always fantasizing. That's your issue. You're like, I would like a relationship in the here and now, not the fantasizing. But they're insecure and they're detached and they don't know what to do. It's like it's so there's a sense of not doing anything. They're stuck in the fight, flight, freeze, that frozen. But it's like, but if you think that karmic doesn't know that they're thinking about somebody else, you're wrong. It's like because it's like they're not there. I feel like this person's mistake has been that they have given in to this person so many times. Like that now that it's really over, it's like they can feel the person's instability. You're in your old patterns, but can't see it. And you're like, you're doing it again. That's the problem. You're doing it again. Like you're worried about that person. You're worried about everybody else except for yourself. It's like, and this is the problem. It's like when you grow up in an environment that's like dysfunctional and you're the fixer and you're the healer and you were the smart one, you were the parent. It's like this person is taking on that role with this person, and they don't want to be in it. It's miserable because it's like I don't have my life. I don't like have my life, but it's their choice. This is a self-esteem issue. I can't fully be there for you as long as this person is in my life. That's what I'm saying. I know it's hard for you, but I have to go through this experience in order to heal it. And going through the experience is they have to get so disgusted. It's like, because it's like they're not there. They're there, but they're not there. And it's like they're just like waiting. And I don't know, like waiting for the other person to throw them out because that's never going to happen. It's like the karmic's getting mad is treating them worse and worse and worse. So what's going to happen is this person's one day is just not going to be able to take it. They're going to snap. And it's because that karmic is like, you're either going to do things the way that I want them done, like where we revert and actually try and work it out, or or I'm gonna like smash you. It's kind of like the energy there. And I feel like it's like they're already divorced. They're already out. It's like, so it's like, what are you gonna do to make my life even more worse? It's like, well, it's also this person, like, are they gonna like threaten to kill themselves? And they're gonna like be manipulative in that way? Because I feel like they've done a lot of different things to hold on to this person over a course of time. Now that it's finally happened, it's like it's more like a trained behavior that your person is like waiting and looking for. What are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? And the karmic knows it. So it's like the same divine energy flows in each of us. This energy is a catalyst to our reunion. We just need to allow this energy to work its magic. It's again, like it's almost like this person is like fantasy land. And it's like the passion and this and that it's just going to work its way back somehow. No, you have to leave that person. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and they're going to eventually do it. But right now, if you want to know where they are, they're in fantasy land. It's just going to magically work its way out because like there's a connection here. No, it's like you have to like do something. I'm accessing past life wisdom. It's helping me to understand things with a new perspective, which has to, again, which I feel is that this person saying, I'm I'm not leaving to be with you. I'm leaving for myself. I'm doing what I'm doing for myself is like how they need to like look at it instead of, like feeling as if they need to be some sort of martyr and, and really looking at things like I already set this person up really well and looking at things again like I deserve love too. I'm afraid you're going to meet someone else before I'm ready to be with you for good. And that's what I'm saying. Like this person feels like you're pulling away. They feel like you're, that they feel that they're fantasizing about you more and more, but there's an anxiety of I feel like time's a ticking. Like, because it said this a few times, like, I don't like be ready. I'm trying to be ready, But trying to be ready is just leaving that person for good. And leaving that person for good is saying, we have kids. You get the kids on Monday and Wednesday, and at from this time till this time, and you keep to a schedule, and that it's there's no crossover, that it has to be clean. And this is what this person knows, that you're not going to tolerate anything less. And that karmic is who they are. It's like some people just feel that they own the person after they have children or after they've been with them for so long. They think that they know them, they think that they've trained them. So it's like, and they kind of have, because this person doesn't have a strong sense of self. That's what happens when a person has so used to being like, well, I kind of lived a fragmented life. I was a yes to that person all the time, but then I lived a whole other life that they didn't know about because I was not happy. And that other life could be anything from I was into porn all the time and I didn't date anyone else because this person likes to fantasize. I'm just saying. Or like I ran around with other people. It's like, or I just would flirt with other people. This person lived, like, again, a fragmented life in order to deal with that situation. They can't deal with their situation that way with you anymore. It's like they have to come in correct. And that's part of the problem. It's like they need to do the healing. Staying connected to this past life karmic allows them to stay in a lower frequency. That's what it is, and because they don't want to learn the lesson. Where with you, they have to. The next solstice or equinox will bring an important shift to us. So again, this person, I feel like it's spring, in the springtime. Clear the illusion of the 3D world. Don't take everything at face value. There's a lot more going on spiritually and energetic than you can see. Yeah, because you're not seeing nothing. That's why. Not seeing not a damn thing. And the reason why is because this person is actually like going through the spiritual lesson, I feel like, where they're like coming to the realization of, I don't want to be in this connection. I have to figure out how to get out of it. I have to figure out like what's the right thing. As you surrender your 3D expectations, I surrender our 5D connection. So this is very like twin flamey, as you can see, which is like this person has no control over this connection at all. The one that they have with you, the one that they have with karmic, they do. They're starting to realize that. However, there's still all this trained behaviors. It's again of being with someone that has barked orders at you for a long time. And, there wasn't, I can't say that they were all miserable either all the times. They were with this person. So there were good times. So there's a mixture of a lot of different emotions. Like I said, this person tried to rush things before they were over because they were like, I don't want them to go. And what wound up happening was you were like, well, you're not clearly ready for me now either. So you sent them back. And so again, here they are still trying to figure it out. So at this point, of course, you would be pulling away, being like, I'm over it. It's like, how long am I supposed to wait for you to figure it out? It's like you don't see what that person's doing. And Spirit says, they do. Things are changing. They're accessing past life wisdom. It's again, they're really looking at their life. They're really looking. And at the same time, they are surrendering to this connection. I'm tired of being away from you physically. I'm trying to process my fear so I can come back to you because you're not coming to them and they don't want to lose you. And time's ticking. They said they're afraid you're going to meet somebody else. So time is not on their side. They can feel it. And they really do have strong feelings for you. It's like, it's not like they don't, but this person is like insecure. And they're insecure because part of being connected to that person kept them codependent, where it's like feeling responsible for somebody else's happiness, feeling responsible for someone else, even when it's over. Because it's like, this person's like, what am I going to do? And they know that this person's like, what am I going to do? But it's like, they got to put on their big girl pants or big boy pants and like go out, because really they weren't really in a connection with that person. That person was either living a double life, they're sitting at home fantasizing about you, but sitting there in the chair doing nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's not a real like connection. I'm changing this pattern and moving forward. They're like because they're over it. And they realize that, but it wasn't an easy connection to break free from, because I believe that karmic is manipulative and doesn't really want it over, because they're like, what's going to happen to me? Where am I going? What am I doing? This was my life. And they're like, but I have not been in love like with you for a long time. And you know, I'm making that other person wait. And this is what they're realizing. And you're like, yeah, hello. And they're like, they want to be in a connection with you. I feel the chemistry between us. We need to trust that the energy we share will bring us back together again. That's just, again, there's a, like, this person is in a place of, I pray to God that this connection is going to, like, still work out, because, like, I like hope that I didn't ruin it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, because we see that here a few times. Time's a ticking. You're going to find someone else before I come back. The chemistry between us, though, is so important. I hope that it's enough to bring us back. Like, it's all that, like, this person's holding on to, like, hope. And what they're seeing is, I can't hold on to have you sit there and wait for me and be hopeful, because what I'm seeing is you're going to find somebody else. And I'm sitting here like a dope, like trying to fix this where this person doesn't want to fix themselves. And it's like that it's already over. You know what I mean? It's already been over. It's just, I need to actually pull the actual plug. I should have been gone a long time ago, is what this person feels like. And part of them awakening is awakening to the truth that this person isn't all innocent and weak either. They're also manipulative, and that it comes down to, do you love yourself enough? Really, that's what it is. So you have to say, okay, so why the hell would I attract this person into my life? If we're a mirror of what comes into our life, because, like, this is a strong connection. I feel like it's a twin flame connection, because they're like, again, this opposite energy as you surrender your expectations of the physical world, meaning like what you expect that I'm going to give you. Like, I don't want to say it so blunt, like, are you expecting me to come in and take you out to dinner every night, and like for us to live together, move in right away? Are you expecting, like because the karmic had a ton of expectation, because, well, it was like, you're not giving me love, so of course I'm going to get something. So again, that's what ruined the intimacy and the trust. It was like, it wound up being an exchange type thing after a while. And then after a while, there was no attraction, because who wants that? So it's like this person, like, saying, well, normally I would, if I was a player, I would come in that way. I don't really want to come in that way, but the way that I should come in, I have a problem coming in that way, because vulnerability, transparency, um, coming in correctly. Well, they have no choice. They have to come in correctly. They have to surrender their ego. They have to apologize. So, and that would require you to have compassion and forgive. And what we see here is moving into the higher levels of consciousness. Because do you really want to do that? No. That's like, the person doesn't deserve it. It's like you were worried about that other person more. They, again, were looking at you again. Spirit said right from the beginning, said they were looking at you as if you were already divine. Like, the twin flame connection doesn't mean that we meet that person like in our best energy. We have the opportunity to step into our best energy. We're getting the test. And the test is, now, if the person comes back humble and they surrender their ego, which, again, this person is going to do once they get really uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable now. They're just not as uncomfortable as they should be, but it's starting to get there. They're going to come back and surrender their ego. They're going to be transparent. They're going to move into those higher levels of consciousness. Does that mean they want to? No, they're very uncomfortable. They're afraid that they're going to lose you. They have no choice. You put them in a situation, you are like, you have no choice because I will leave. And they know that. So they can feel it. And so they're like, I have to make a decision. I have to like move already. So first card out, joy. Second card out, innocence. Gifts. Truth came out by accident, so we're going to take it. Security and safety and self-sabotage. And you get two more. And these are the inner child wounds. We see how they play out, hope and trauma. We see how that the karmic theme continues to play out within the relationships. So why we attract who we attract, why. Now, the irony is that you met this person when they were a past life karmic mate to you, as well as to that karmic, who they're actually with, where at one time they thought that that karmic was their twin flame, because again, it was very passionate and it was very crazy at one time, and then it just went cold, and there was a lot of lessons, and this person feels responsible. And it's not like I can't say that there's not love. There's love. I just don't want to be with you in that way. It's like I want to see the best for you, where normally this person wouldn't even care. And then here's you, where they thought that you were like a karmic, and here it is, you're actually their twin flame. So if you would have been with this person before their time, well, I feel like before they were ready, before they went through this process, like you would have like reaped that like bad karmic consequences. And I say that because, like I said, safety and security, right? That's when we feel safe in a relationship, obviously. But what we say, why did you attract this person into your life? Why did the spiritual lesson play out this way? What were we supposed to learn about ourselves? If we went through this experience. And Spirit says, because there was no safety and security, or it felt like there wasn't safety and security, like it ruined your innocence, like the innocence of the connection. And unfortunately, when you met this person, I believe that you knew that they were your twin flame, but now it's like it's going to take some convincing for them when they come back, like all twin flames, for them to prove to you that they're the twin flame, because there's a runner and a chaser, and then again the roles reverse. So it's like they ruin the innocence of the connection because of it. And I feel like growing up without safety and security also ruined your innocence, because it stole the joy away from you because of the trauma. And so when there's severe trauma, two things happen. We detach and disassociate, which they're spiritual gifts when that happens, because again, you have psychic abilities. You have, again, detachment, and that trauma opens up another whole part of your brain. However, we're not a lot of times using those psychic abilities. Those psychic abilities are working against us when we're younger, and because we feel inadequate, because we are more sensitive, we can feel things. We think, again, we know that we're different. We feel different. We feel different because we were brought up in an environment where most people weren't getting screamed at or yelled at or abused, where there was no security and we didn't have to work. So again, we became hypersensitive of our environment for our survival, because that's what happens when you're utilizing all your senses and you're a child. You're not logically figuring out anything, because there's nothing there's nothing to refer it to. You're becoming overly sensitive, and then rewiring your nervous system to be able to receive information, to feel information. So there's gifts, but those gifts create a lot of self-sabotaging behaviorisms in the beginning, because feeling inadequate, feeling different, feeling like maybe like no one, like because you're different, you didn't emotionally get what you needed, so you tried to get love by being loved, caring, also caring a lot about other people's feelings, other people's, but partially for you, it was because of your survival. If this person's happy, then I'm going to be happy. It's like then I'm going to have a better chance of being happy. And so, because if there's no safety and security, there was a lot of trauma just with the parents alone over not enough money, not enough, not enough. And then what comes with that usually is um, parents checking out, because safety and security means that there's no support, and checking out like due to their life not being stable. Well, what do people do when they don't feel good? They drink, they do other things to create that stability, that perceived stability, that relief, emotional relief, I should say. For what, but then you're growing up in that type of environment where you're then being programmed to think that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, because parents aren't showing up for themselves. So, due to that sensitivity, you feel different, and sensitives are different. They tend to internalize a lot. They need a lot of quiet time. They could be different and artistic, and everyone sees their capabilities and their beauty, but you might have not, because of, again, of the just what life had did in the early time. And so spirit says there were certain wounds that you needed to transmute. Yeah, it's again, which is clear if like you had self-sabotaging behavior. Self-sabotaging behavior in this case, it's again by caring too much about other people. So if you would have been in this person's life because there was such a connection and wanting to help them before, it actually would have taken you down, because that karmic would have been right there. And that karmic is again where this person didn't stayed away from you. I feel like because like they want to end it with that person, and they wanted to end it with that person in the correct way. But when they come back, it's so that I don't get tricked, I don't feel bad. This is their mindset, and their intention. And with a twin flame connection, I believe that that would be true, because they went through the experience, but the twin flame connection is where the transmutation process happens through passion, through the fire of what they create, the fire that they have for each other. That it's again, that's where it's again that energy is integrated, like like that transmutation process happens. So I do believe that they don't go back. But they still have to come back and apologize and be humble and work their way into it. Unconditional love, spirit says. Because I said, well, what's, oh, I forgot to pull the other ones, which I could do it backwards. But unconditional love is what spirit says is how we would normally end this reading, and that unconditional love is what you're here to learn. Like, and what do you learn with the twin flame? The unconditional love. Clearly, if you have to forgive the person when they come back, uh, because they chose to worry about how they were leaving that situation before actually being like, and saying that they were done with the connection before they were actually done with the connection first, and then caring more about that, because it's like this person has a balance issue. It's like they either like leave too soon, or they don't want to leave at all. Like it's like, or they're too concerned. And so spirit says again, we don't judge the person's process when it's unconditional love. Spirit says your heart is free from resentment towards others. Open your eyes and your heart and discover the light and beauty in every being. Be aware that suffering causes distress and hurts people. See the pure child in everyone and practice forgiveness. Of course, right? Forgiveness. Didn't I fucking say that it would be forgiveness? No, it was going to be damn forgiveness. Where Spirit says, yeah, you both have a problem with forgiveness because, hey, well, if you were like traumatized in childhood and there were people that were supposed to love you and support you and guide you as like were, bullying you, to like making you feel like you weren't loved, they weren't giving you safety, support, security, everything that you would perceive those people to do that they should do anyway. Um, well, then you would have a hard time forgiving because you'd say, well, why did this happen? It's like, look at my life. Because I was trying to survive, how could you possibly even thrive? How could I possibly even thrive if that's where my mind was too busy surviving? And really, a lot of times we tend to think that, because we grew up a certain way or we're around a certain person that didn't treat us well, that did something, we feel like did something to us because now we perceive ourselves different. We perceive like what we can have different, where Spirit says, that's all an illusion. No one can take what's yours. Only you can agree. You can change directions. You can change paths. And in between that space between what you sow to what you reap is lonely because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, but always understand Spirit says it's always going to be for your betterment when when something isn't right for you. What comes next is going to be a lot better. It's again when you chose to walk away from something that wasn't right. And that means friends, people, situations, family, even because you only have so much time, energy, focus, and money. And the way that you manifest is through the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you have. You can't manifest in a place that made you sick. You have to surround yourself in new environments. And so as you evolve, people just naturally drop off, you know? And so when it's a spiritual connection and there is like this strong connection, it's you're going to be challenged. Are you going to react the way that you react with everyone, or does this person matter? Like there's no one's perfect, but it's like if this is going to be a hard choice because you may think what they did was horrible, like, it's horrible. You made me wait. You weren't there. You like sitting there worried about somebody else. And Spirit says, are you going to be able to forgive or are you not going to be able to forgive? A lot is relying on you. And that's the hardest test. It's the biggest test in the Bible, actually. It's like the one, not just the Bible, in every religion. It's like forgiveness. And it's hard to forgive, especially when, you know, you're like, well, I've been through this situation before, or I just wanted to be chosen. I just wanted to be picked, or maybe you were going through difficult times and this person was there for someone else. So there's always that karmic theme that was inside of you. And Spirit says, well, you were supposed to be doing things during that time. And you're like, well, what was I supposed to be doing? And Spirit says, going into uncharted waters, doing something different. You can't get better in the place that made you sick. So it's to experience new things, to try different things, Spirit says. Evoke your curiosity to discover new aspects of your life. It's again, you don't know everything who you are. You grew up in trauma. You're not your trauma. It's again, but if you were traumatized and were in survival, you don't have all the experiences. You don't know who you are. You're only going to know when you venture out into the world and discover new things and say, hey, I like that. Hey, I met this person. I discovered this. And that's how your third eye opens. That's how you stir up passion in your life to be like, yeah, I always wanted to go here. I always wanted to go there. I never thought that it could happen. It's like Spirit saying having a love affair with yourself so that when this person comes into your life, they see that you take care of yourself, that you live life, that you're not just gonna go into this, like I don't know, extremely like we're married type of relationship right away. Spirit says it's again play together. It's again, but again, you need to know how to do this because clearly that person is like it doesn't know how to play. They don't know who they are. They're insecure. That's who they are. So it's again, this is what you're supposed to be doing right now. That's number one. In the time of separation, you could be like, I'm supposed to like play. And Spirit says yes. Be like childlike, don't have expectation. Just go out and discover. It's like be the energy of love. It's like because then the universe conspires to bring you other things that are going to resonate with you, and a life opens up of who, and you're going to attract people who resonate with who you are today instead of your wounds of the past. Like I said, this is how we're able to continuously evolve to because the whole point spirit says is it's all about ascending, moving into the highest state of consciousness of unconditional love, which means that you have to clear those wounds, integrate those spiritual blocks, and we wouldn't really know how to do all of it because spirit says that's why you have this twin flame. It's like they're ready, you're ready, but it's like the whole forgiveness thing. Spirit would say, you know it's hard for us to like to forgive, but don't judge the person, don't judge how a person asks for forgiveness either. A lot of times like we want it to look a certain way, and spirit says because a lot of times it's not going to look that way with your twin, and that's what triggers you. You're like, you think that, but you love them. And spirit says, well, why does it trigger you? It shouldn't really trigger you. It's then time for you to do the shadow work. You want to ascend life. That's why you're getting this person. But why do you want to ascend life? Because to be the energy of unconditional love means that you will attract abundance into your life. You can create your own heaven on earth. That's why. It's like we can't control what goes on in the environment, but we can control what goes on inside. And spirit says, and that's what ascending life is. Let go of who you think you are to become who you truly are. Because thinking you're inadequate, thinking that being insecure and being like having all those spiritual blocks, well, that's preventing you from having abundance, number one. But number two, it's just, you're not going to ascend. You have to release the past. You have to let go, and that's scary. Believe it or not, like a lot of times we wear our pain like armor. And, we have to train ourselves to let go. It's not just a natural process, but spirit says that's how, you get your twin flame to help you do that. It's like the fact that, oh, I'm passionate for this person. It's like I stick around long enough to do the spiritual work. And it's pretty much what it comes down to. And soul's calling, spirit says, and then it's the align your actions with your values. You want to be in alignment with the laws, the spiritual laws, the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of nature, the laws of the universe. They're all the same thing. So you can't go wrong. It's like it's all the same thing. So when you align your actions with your values, and your values are in alignment with the laws of unconditional love, well, it's again, then you're doing what's best for everyone. Then you're again, the universe applauds you. The universe always gives you back. That's how we get good results, when we again are in vibrating at the highest vibration. So spirit says this person's helping you. This person is helping you alchemize those spiritual blocks, helping you, and you're helping that person. That's what this connection is. If you choose to be in the soulmate twin flame connection, remember, you have free will. But if it's a real soulmate twin flame, you're not going to be able to really stay away from this person. You're going to, or if you do, you'll regret. There'll be part of you that always wonders, because there is such intense love. And the reason why is because the divine has put this together. The universe has brought this connection together. So you're essentially going against the universe. You're going against God. Do you really think that you're going to win? No. It's like it's going against the grain. You can do it, but it'll feel wrong. It'll be like, even though but logically, you'll be like, but logically, this is wrong that I'm with this person that triggers me all the time. And then spirit says, it's again, that's if you look at things logically. It's like we look at things spiritually and from everything that this person needs to teach you, everything that they need to heal, everything that needs to, again, that they're actually your divine counterpart. You went through the same thing that they did. That's why that you just handle it differently. You're bringing in different energies and you're learning unconditional love. It doesn't mean you're not getting triggered. You actually are getting triggered. The whole point is that this person is still holding space and still loves you unconditionally and vice versa. And it doesn't mean you don't get frustrated. So you better make sure that your life is balanced. Spirit says, because, it hurts sometimes, but if you're balanced, it, it you're not going to be able to like stay angry. Like balance just means that you have time for your friends, you have time for your work, you have time to work out, you have time, make your life look like a pizza pie. I always say 8 pieces of pie in a pizza, right? 8 slices. Make sure that you would do 8 different things during the day, and don't be so codependent with the person. It's again, if you're really making your life look like a pizza pie, then part of that is again in putting time towards passions and hobbies. That opens up a life all to itself. That creates balance. So again, this is way you're not having so much expectation for the other person to give you emotionally, and vice versa. You're able to let the connection unfold naturally. And I say that only because this person like tends to like go into relationships like too fast, and then so it needs to be paced, it needs to be balanced. That's what the twin flame connection is. It teaches balance. It's not all or nothing. That's why it's like, oh, I can't get rid of this person, but it's like, but I love this person. What do I do? My heart and my head are continuously fighting. And spirit just says it's a walk of balance, which is hard because you tend to be all or nothing type of people. All right, I'll answer your questions now. Thank you, Tarot T. And I said Melanie. I don't know if I saying your name right. Melanie. See, how do we create the boundaries after they come back from their uncomfortable silence? It's again, you are busy with your life. Like I said, you have to make your life look like busy. Part of it is that you're not creating balance where you're saying, "Oh, I'm not going to pick up the phone," because you're going to look like an idiot. It's like, but it's live life, be happy, be really happy in your life by fulfilling your life. Because if the person really loves you, well, they're going to stick around. They might not like the fact that all of a sudden you're busy. It might trigger them. They might get annoyed. But if it's real, they'll come back because they have to run. They have to chase. When a person's chasing after you, they're not worried whether or not, well, you're going to control my life. No, because they see you're not controlling their life. You have your own life. And you don't just have your own life because you're interactive in your life. There's a lot of other options out there. So what you're saying is, I don't really care if you do give it to me or not, because guess what? I have a lot of other options. You're not saying that with words. You're saying that with actions. And so then what happens automatically is you wind up triggering that person a little bit of their insecurity, because everyone's a little bit insecure in the beginning of a connection. But people that really have a lot of spiritual blocks are gonna, yeah, and that they have spiritual blocks because they're avoidant, they had bad relationships, the signs. So it's again, you have to make that person chase you. They have their heart closed, which is, I'm going to breadcrumb you. I'm only going to give a little. I'm going to strategize. I'm going to do this. You don't want them in that energy. You want them in heart center, not head, not strategizing. This isn't a poker game. This is a relationship. It's like where it's like people make the mistake of giving way too much time. When you look at people that are extremely busy and successful, do you think that they have time to give to a person that is, breadcrumbing? Oh, here comes Bob again. Here comes Karen again every 3 weeks. And they talk to me for a half an hour. They talk to me for an hour. It's like you're breadcrumbing. It's like you're not giving me time. Do you think that they have time? I don't have time to give anybody half an hour. Like it's like you're not worth the time. I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation and tell you all about me. You want to get to know me? Then take the time to get to know me. Most people don't start the relationship off that way. They start off by being like, well, I want to treat you the way I want to treat myself. And Spirit says, yeah, but you didn't get treated nicely. And you weren't emotionally supported. So you gave away the entire pizza every single time. It's like, so it doesn't work. It's so Spirit says people like they have to work for it. It's like without you saying, hey, you have to work for it. It's like you're having such a good time in life. You're invested in life. There's other people in your life. You do not get first class treatment if you left my life and now you're coming back because you're sorry. You don't. You get the nosebleed seats. That's what you get. There won't be an obstruction in your way. I won't be a complete bitch, but you don't get the matinee on a Tuesday afternoon, like when it's leisure, and it's like you don't get that version of me. It's like because you didn't get, you left. So part of you has to prove it to me. And if you can't prove it to me because you have such a big ego, then you haven't changed. Because if you really changed, you're going to surrender your ego and you're going to take into consideration my feelings and not be so stubborn and not be so people are creatures of habit. So you're not telling them this. See, if the moment that you have to open up your mouth, you lost the person. They're like, oh, I see what you want me to do. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to do any of that. You can't. You always be nice, always be super sweet, always be nice, always be polite, but give less. It's like give less. It's like be mysterious. I'm not going to tell you everything about me. Why am I going to tell you everything about me so that you can use what I tell you against me, but to act like we have more of a connection than we actually do? Because I sat here telling you about me, but you didn't tell me nothing about you because you don't want to be transparent, because you're too busy breadcrumbing, because you don't really know where you want this to be. No. It's like, hey, if you really liked me, you'd be chasing me. Are you going to tell me that if it was I don't know, some movie star, let's just say, that was walking down the block, you think that you need to do all that? No, you'd be like, I just want to be with you. Right. That's the energy that I'm expecting. I just want to be with you. It's like because that's how I am. When I care about someone, when I love somebody, it's like I just want to be with you. I just like you. I don't need to be with you every moment. But I need to, but if that person isn't jumping up and down like that and it doesn't have that enthusiasm, then they're not all of a sudden going to, is what it's going to say, unless you actually make them and you make them by giving them less. It's like always sweet, always nice, always, but it's like you don't get that seat. Why am I going to let you sit at my dinner table when you didn't earn it? You didn't earn that spot. And it's the same way that they are looking at you, expecting you to be act a certain way. Well, it's again, you have a right to like hold to your expectations of what you want for yourself. It's like if they can't hold to it, then it's not. But it's to make it not so available because when a person acts gives more, they open up their heart. They draw a more of an emotional connection because anything that you invest in, think about it. Think about if you have children, you know how much you love your children. You know why? Because you invest in them. You know, like you have a pet, you love the pet. Why? Because you invest in it. It's like, well, you want someone to invest in you and love you that way. Don't settle for anything short. You don't have to. It's like the illusion is that you have to, because God says, you are love, you are me. So it's impossible for you not to be able to have love when you are it already. You have to say, what is it? And with what that is with you just gave too much. It's like, and didn't teach that person. That's all that that was. It's like, it's like that. And that's, see, that I forgive him, but you have feelings for someone else now. And that's what happens. And and let me tell you, that person will be thinking about you for the rest of their life. If you're a twin flame, you'll be the one that got away. You'll be the one that, but you do have free will, you do have choice. And twin flame connection is a hard one, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, it digs up everything. And this person was an asshole, like, I mean, they didn't have to play it this way. They were in their ego. It's, again, they see it now, but that's usually the way. It's like, oh, well, now that I screwed it all up. And Spirit says it's actually better that way, because then, when they come back, that they've really surrendered their ego. They got to come back with their tail between their legs. They have to work a little bit. They have to try. And if a person like is willing to do that, and in this story, they are, because you're not coming back and they're like, you're going to meet somebody else. I have feelings. The way that you trust again is like, well, it would take a long time. But if a person proves to you, see, it depends. Like, if you are in a twin flame connection where you only like dated, like, let's just say the connection never got off the ground, like the person always ran from you, they get close and then run, never got. Or if they only gave you a little bit, and like you only dated a little bit, but if you were dating someone for years and years and years and they would betray you, you wouldn't be able to. It's like, because it's, I mean, it wouldn't be worth it either, because you know how much time you'd waste in trying to like heal that, instead of, and people are creatures of habit. So remember, if you're with somebody when you're young and you're teaching that person that it's okay that they treat you however, and now all of a sudden you want them to be different, it's that, like, you can't. It's best that you get the person right from the beginning and you teach them the way you want to be treated right from the beginning. It's like, because you'll either weed out the ones that totally just are there just for a good time, a waste of time, because no one's going to sit there and deal with your other 7 pieces of pie, for that. They're going to want to take all your the pie or half a pie. So you weed them out. That, like, it's just easier with a new person. With, if the person now, let's just say it just never got off the ground, or you weren't dating that long and they just were confused and there was still someone from the past and there was a scenario, you'd have to make them work to come back into your life. They have to prove themselves, and that's how much time, energy they're putting into you. Which is, are they calling? Are they interactive? Are they sharing about their life? Are they being transparent? Are they putting in the effort? And if you're busy with your life, then it doesn't matter if they are or aren't, because emotionally, you're getting what you need from other people and other things. And that's the whole point that Spirit said, is that most people make that person, that special person, all their passion. That's the biggest mistake, because God says, I'm a jealous God. It's me first, and that's you first, because I live inside of you. And so by you giving to that person first, you're undervaluing yourself. So when they already came to you when they first ask you out, because why? They're attracted to you, they like you, they feel the connection. Okay. So that's not the issue. The issue is you were too nice. You were too giving. You were too accommodating. You gave up. So, like I said, trying to train someone different is going to be difficult, because it's going to be arguments. That person's always going to try. But if you just show who you are right from the beginning, it's easier. So, I mean, that's not one answer for that because I don't think that you would be able to keep trusting someone that continued to betray you. But someone that continued to betray you is not your twin flame. Okay. Someone that it would be again that the connection either never got off the ground because that one person was like in the background and they had to leave that person, but they were afraid. But it's again that you would see it wasn't done out of malice. It wasn't done, it was just purely insecure. The person's like just is insecure. Yeah, and you're like, well, I think you can trust yourself when you see, like, you trust yourself when you see that your life is good, and your life is good by not giving one person too much. You have better perception also to see. When you're so close up to the picture, like you don't see anything. Meaning if you were hanging out with that person all the time, you're like, I don't know when like the person started to disrespect me, or I don't really remember the exact moment that things changed, but I just knew that they changed. Where there's none of that because you can see it because you're not so close up, and you're I say teaching. You teach the person how you want to be treated because even if a person comes back into your life, you just are busy with your life. It's like, and they have to follow by your rules. It doesn't, and if believe me, if they really want to be in your life, they're gonna do it and they're not gonna care. And they're gonna know that they should. And that's how you know that they're remorseful because they apologize and the action. And my person pulled back because I was giving too much and being too nice. Well, that's the thing. It's like when you show that you're so accommodating, it really shows how much you want the relationship. Then all of a sudden, people then get afraid that you're going to have expectation of them, and then a lot of times people then feel responsible for for how it is. So it just takes the focus off when you're in your life, you're not focused on what they do and what they don't do. You just notice if they're not doing it, or like you notice it as it should be happening. You're not like hyper focused. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? You're not in that space. You're in the space of, what, was really busy today, and I went to my, after activity, whatever that was, and got to see friends and this and that. And you know what? I noticed that he or she didn't do X, Y, or Z, or I noticed that they did do X, Y, Z. So your intuition is telling you because you're not so close up to the picture. So you're giving this person space to show you, and it's through their actions. Otherwise, it's like it doesn't work. If you have expectation for the person's going to feel like they have a noose around their neck, and they're always going to sabotage themselves, especially if they don't have a good self-esteem. It's like that they're just not going to do it because again, they get in their own way. They don't really believe that they're deserving of love. So that's going to trigger you and make you feel like, well, but you don't really care about me. It's like they don't know how to deal with it. It's like, so it just takes the stress off of it. Yes, it's about expectations being put on each other. Yeah, that's what it is. And it weighs everybody down. So if you're in your life and you're creating that mystery within your life, they want to know you. I want to get to know you more. It's like I like you. Like you're not an open book. You're not always around. And you make sure of that because, like I said, part of the mystery. Am I talking to someone? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. It's like I'm not going to let you know in the beginning. Why? Because you may be talking to somebody. You may tell me that you're not, but you're all full of crapola. So it won't matter because guess what? I don't give a shit whether you are or whether you're not because I'm over here and I'm doing my thing. And so that automatically, then the person's like, why aren't they asking? Do you think that they like me? They're not really putting, you triggered their insecurity. And it's again where most people will come in, and if they're insecure and they don't want a commitment, what you notice is they trigger your insecurity. Well, that's really what it is. It's like where because you're not around, what you're saying is no, you're not the only thing that is my entertainment, my fulfillment. It's like, and guess what? If I don't really feel like I'm really being entertained or, being loved the way that I should, or that I feel as if I'm giving more than you are, well, I'm going to replace you. I'm going to be like, you know what? Instead of coming home at 9 o'clock, I'm going to stay out until like 11 o'clock or whatever and hang out with the people that I'm hanging. Why am I going to rush home for you? It's like you're not, it's like, again, you don't get that treatment just because, oh, we're just going to wind up in this comfortable slump. Guess what? Because that comfortable slump, when they haven't worked for it, guess what? That's it. It's like you're teaching them that that's all that they have to do. And it's like, no. And then you like, well, I wanted to get married. Yeah, that's not going to happen because that person is too comfortable unless they've actually invested already in you and invested time, energy, focus, and money. Yes, money. Because it's like, I would like you're an investment. It's like otherwise it's just are you gonna come over and do Netflix and chill? It's like no. It's like, and that's what the problem is. So you always want to be nice. You always want to be friendly. You always want to be. It's again all those things. You're just not an open book, and you're filling your life with other passions, other things, not other people that you're going to run around with and cheat and be in a sexual relationship with. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is passions, other passions that to be into because that makes you intriguing. That makes you again be able to meet other people. Then life takes on a certain type of energy. You want to stay in a high vibration because hey, that person is good. Like be like, well, normally I'm with somebody that tells me what to do, and this one over here, they don't care, and they're out here and they're in a high vibration, having a good old fucking time without me. Why is that? Because that triggers again their ego. It's like, and then they'll see, well, I actually like the way that this person lives now. This person got me into this type of music because every Tuesday they go down and they listen to this, and they got me into this because they're into this, and they got me into. You open up a whole other world for that person. You become their muse. It's like because it's again that your passion. You represent passion. So again, you have to make sure you're always filling your cup up. It's again, and if the ones that are insecure, guess what? Don't expect them to stick around because the ones that are insecure may wind up dropping out altogether. But it won't matter because then you'll meet somebody that's more on your energy vibration. And then that's how that person that was in and out and back and forth eats the karma because they say, wow, I just lost the best thing that was in my life. And you're like, not angry, you're not mad, you're actually happy, and you don't wish that person bad, and you move on with your life. Or this person has the opportunity to come back into your life and say, hey, you're the best thing since sliced bread. I'm really sorry for the way that I was treating you. Can you please give me another chance? They surrender their ego and they actually try. It's like, but either way, you're balanced. It doesn't matter to you. You're okay. Either way, you avoid negative karmic consequences when you do that. Otherwise, you deal with the negative karmic consequences when meanwhile you didn't do anything bad that they did. So like I said, that's the way that it's done. Anyone else have any questions? If not, I'm gonna wind down. We've been on for almost an hour and a half. Woo! Not forever hold your peace. Thank you for spending your time with me this evening, Virgo. I love you guys. And I'll be on again tomorrow. Look, and hopefully I'll look a lot better. I went bicycle riding after 4 years. Let me tell you, my legs feel like jelly. I mean, I work out, I do weightlifting, but I hadn't bike ride in so long. And I did that today because my car broke down. I had to go to the food supermarket and I look crazy because of it. So I promise to look a little bit better. Look a little bit better for you guys. But until then, be true to you. You get me in all different ways, Virgo, all different ways.